There's a fun road trip, Channing Tatum's abs, a failed threesome, more Tatum abs, and a story that will make any pet lover cry. Hello, Popcorn Recap here. Today, we'll talk about a 2022 comedy movie called Dog. Before we start, be sure to like the video, drop a comment, and of course, subscribe to the channel if you dig the summary. The movie begins with Briggs waking up on the floor after an anxiety attack. He is an army ranger that is currently suffering from PTSD. After regaining control of his body, he drinks his medications. In the morning, a dazed Briggs works at a local sandwich bar. He makes a mistake with the customer's order and apologizes for it. While taking out the trash later, he calls a military agency about his pending work request. It seems his request gets denied because of his health condition. The only way for it to be approved is by getting a recommendation from his previous superior officer. While disappointed, Briggs is still determined to get back into military life. Sometime later, he receives a call informing him about the death of an old colleague. He then gets invited to a gathering to honor their fallen comrade. On the way, Briggs opens several scratch lottery tickets. Do people actually win anything from those? I know I haven't. Later at the gathering, Briggs and the rest of the Rangers honor their fallen comrade named Riley. He takes a moment to say goodbye in front of Riley's portrait and leaves a lottery ticket behind. Outside, he helps his commanding officer carry one of their drunk colleagues. While walking his superior officer to his car, Briggs begs him to recommend him back into service. He pleads his case about being well enough to handle the job. Unfortunately, his superior denies his requests and tells him to go home safely. The next day, Briggs' captain wakes him up and tells him to report to the military base. Surprised and excited, Briggs tries buttering up to his captain while thanking him. He wastes no time and goes to the military base that day. While at the gate, a soldier calls out Briggs for using an expired ID. While arguing about it, his captain arrives and tells the soldier to let Briggs in. Before leaving, Briggs thanks the soldier for his service and flips him the finger. That's one way to make more friends. Inside the base, Briggs follows his captain and learns his assignment has something to do with Riley's dog. It turns out that Riley's mother wants his hero dog to be present during the funeral. Briggs learns that the captain wants him to drive the dog to Arizona. He then learns that the military personnel struggles to work with the dog. It seems the dog's aggressive behavior is causing problems for them. Briggs finds out that in exchange for this job, the captain will make the call to recommend him back into service. The captain also tells him to deliver the dog to their White Sands base after the funeral. It seems no handlers are willing to work with the dog, so they'll have to put her down. Briggs tries to renegotiate with his captain, but he fails to convince him. Shortly after that, Briggs meets the dog, and her name is Lulu. She is inside a cage and muzzled. Briggs enters the dog cage to talk and pet the dog. Lulu seems friendly at first, but she suddenly attacks Briggs after he touches her ear. The captain and the kennel master laugh at Briggs. As it turns out, Lulu gets angry when someone touches her ears, and they don't inform Briggs on purpose. Well, that was mean. After the quick laugh, they place Lulu on Briggs' truck and send them off on their journey. Sometime later, Briggs notices that Lulu is restless, so he stops to take off her muzzle. He considers taking her out, but she doesn't cooperate, so he changes his mind. He leaves Lulu in the truck and goes to a firing range to practice. Lulu breaks her cage, and when Briggs returns to the truck, he sees her tearing the seats. Since the dog doesn't listen to his commands, a frustrated Briggs decides to sedate her before continuing the trip. They stop over in Oregon, and Briggs plans to enjoy a night out. Unfortunately for Briggs, his night out is a bust. He only meets people with social issues that aren't interested in him. See, this is why I stay at home. Briggs gives up and returns to the truck. While feeding Lulu, two women with their dogs arrive and check her out. Thanks to Lulu, Briggs receives another chance to get the night he wants. He joins the women in their house while leaving Lulu in the truck again. The night starts to go Briggs' way, and it seems he might be able to score. Unfortunately for Briggs, a nosy animal activist sees Lulu alone in the car and decides to intervene. Hearing Lulu making a lot of noise, he decides to go out and check. He then finds the activist holding a rock and planning to break his windows. Despite his efforts to take control of the situation, the man breaks Briggs' windows. Lulu immediately leaps out and attacks the activist. Sometimes it's better to mind your own business. Briggs springs into action to take Lulu under control. Sadly, the women he's trying to hook up with have already lost their interest in him. The next day, Lulu escapes from her leash and jumps out of the truck. Briggs chases her through a forest and ends up seeing tracks of blood. After following the trail of blood, Briggs finds himself in an isolated homestead. While calling out for Lulu, he receives a tranquilizer dart right at the buttocks. When Briggs wakes up later, he's in a pig pen and bound to a chair. Then, a large man appears behind Briggs and asks why he's there. Briggs tries explaining, but the man doesn't listen and leaves. Briggs breaks free and arms himself before following the large man. He sneaks into his house and plans to ambush him. Moments later, he sees Lulu and hears a woman scolding the man for his behavior towards Briggs. It turns out that they are a couple, and the husband, Gus, is a little paranoid. Briggs reveals himself after seeing Lulu act friendly towards the lady, Tamara. He's amazed to see how she feeds the dog with her hand. He then lets Tamara treat Lulu's wounded feet, while he teaches Gus some Houdini tricks. Briggs then shows Gus Lulu's binder of accomplishments. Gus then realizes that Lulu will be put down and feels sad about it. Suddenly, the energetic dog leaps from behind, patched up and ready to go. Shortly after that, Tamara gives Briggs a psychic reading about Lulu and Briggs' family. Annoyed with the psychic mumbo-jumbo, Gus stops Tamara's reading. Later, Briggs and Lulu gratefully leave the couple's homestead to continue their trip. Briggs and Lulu start getting closer to each other as they continue traveling. He even trusts her enough to allow her to leave the truck without a muzzle on her mouth. Briggs then decides to make a risky move in the next city they stop by. He pretends to be a blind veteran with Lulu as his Purple Heart support dog. He then enters a luxurious hotel, hoping to get a free room because of it. The plan works and the two enjoy luxury accommodations. I gotta say, that's just genius. Unfortunately, things quickly take a turn for the worse. Lulu breaks free and attacks a doctor. Briggs then exposes his lie and ends up in jail later. While in jail, Briggs tries convincing the guard to let him go long enough to deliver Lulu at Riley's funeral. Things don't work out, especially after the guard learns that Briggs is a ranger. It turns out that the guard hates rangers for being bullied by them in the past. Later, Briggs comes clean in front of the doctor and moves him enough to drop the charges. Of course, Briggs doesn't forget about the guard earlier. He thanks him for his services and flips him the finger before leaving. Such a friendly guy, this Briggs. The two make several stops before their trip ends, and the first is Briggs' family. Briggs knocks on the door of his ex-wife's house, planning to see his daughter and give her a unicorn doll. Things don't go well, and Briggs leaves disappointed. Before leaving, he gives the unicorn doll to Lulu since she's so interested in it. Next, they stop by Noah's house, and he's the owner of Lulu's brother, Luke. While there, Briggs learns that Luke has the same problem as Lulu, but Noah worked hard in training him to behave. Before leaving, someone breaks into Briggs' truck and steals his belongings. Noah uses the dogs to track the thief's scent and find where he is. Their search ends at a hobo camp where Briggs encounters a crack addict wearing Riley's uniform. He makes him take off the uniform and leaves after recovering all his belongings. Before leaving Noah's house, Briggs watches with sad puppy eyes as Noah enters the house and happily greets his family. On the road that night, the truck breaks down in the middle of a downpour. Unable to do anything about the vehicle, Briggs and Lulu take shelter in a nearby barn. Lulu freaks out because of the thunder and Briggs struggles to calm her down. Frustrated, Briggs goes outside to enjoy a soothing rain shower. When he returns, he puts Lulu's favorite soap opera on the TV and she calms down. Now that's one cultured dog. Briggs then reads the letters that Riley has inside Lulu's binder. In the morning, Briggs and Lulu prepare to travel on foot towards their final destination. Before leaving, Briggs leaves a piece of wood with the word "Thanks" carved on it. Later, Briggs manages to hitch a ride and arrive at Riley's town. As they make their way towards the cemetery, Lulu gets tired of walking. Briggs carries her on his back and continues pushing onwards. Eventually, they arrive just in time for the funeral service. Briggs takes Lulu's leash and she immediately sits on top of Riley's shoes. Before the gun salutes start, Briggs stays by Lulu's side to calm her down. Briggs then hugs Riley's mother and gives the family a bag filled with Riley's personal belongings. Later that afternoon, Briggs decides to set Lulu free into the wild. It seems the idea of putting her down weighs heavily on his heart. Lulu doesn't leave and runs inside the truck instead. At a hotel later that night, Briggs experiences a severe anxiety attack. When he recovers, he sees Lulu standing in front of him with a concerned look. While he's lying on the floor, Lulu comforts the exhausted Briggs. In the morning, Briggs rushes to leave after seeing he's late for his final job of delivering Lulu at the White Sands beach. Later at the military base, the guard calls Briggs out again for his expired ID. He settles to drop Lulu off outside instead. When the soldier in charge of Lulu arrives, Briggs caringly puts on her muzzle. He then tells the soldier to ask the vets to reevaluate Lulu since she's doing better. He wants them to check if she can have another chance. The soldier acknowledges his request and restrains Lulu to take her inside the base. Briggs drives away after the soldier takes Lulu. He then stops and looks at his rearview mirror. He sees Lulu restless and calling out to him. After a moment of contemplation, Briggs decides to return and take Lulu with him. This time, he thanks the soldier for their service without flipping the finger. We then see Briggs training Lulu with the help of Noah. It seems he put in the effort and successfully adopted her. We also see Briggs reconnect with his ex-wife and daughter. Sometime later, Briggs writes a letter of thanks to Lulu for saving his life. The movie ends after he puts it inside Lulu's binder of accomplishments. This is such a touching movie, especially for dog lovers.
Subscribe for more videos like this. Turn on notifications and leave a like. It really helps the channel.